All right, wait. I just got to delete one thing on accident.
It's live.
Oh, it is live?
Yeah.
Well, we going to skip the intro. I thought it said the storage was too much. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is not just the Philly Talk podcast. We are live on two channels, LB's channel and the Philly Talk
Yes,
podcast. And we
sir.
got a special guest, Philly 500, in the building.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing, man? It's
Five
good to
double
be
O.
here.
Yes, sir. I've been trying to catch y'all, man, for like the last week, man. I've been on like
Yeah.
afternoon daddy duties. I got some relief though, so we on now.
It's been a crazy week, man. How things can change really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into this draft with wondering what weapons we have for next year, and you come out with maybe, if you count A.J. Brown, at least 4 starters out of this draft, I think. Easy.
Yeah, that dude, I keep forgetting his name. Is it Kyron Johnson from Nebraska? From Kansas. That guy, man, he looked like a steal too, man. I looked at some film on him. He looks like a steal. But like you said, man, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we're all wondering what we're going to be this upcoming season. Now it look like we're legit contenders. You know what I mean? So it's a good time to be an Eagles fan for sure.
As Jalen Hurts said to all of us, I agree with everybody. And shout out to everybody in the chat. We came on a little unprepared, but what better way to do it than raw and uncut? So I saw Philly 500 just drop this video. Another undrafted free agent sign. Jordan Howard,
Jerry Howard Jr.
Jerry Howard, running back from Georgia Tech.
How
do everybody feel about him?
Well, I think he transferred from Georgia Tech to Towson. I haven't watched him yet. I know he's 6 foot, 230 pounds.
So he's bigger.
So I like that size because I think that you need somebody in short yard situation a little bigger to go, be the next to Miles Sanders. And you get the kid out of Oklahoma too. I think he's got good size too. Brooks, that kid. So I'm glad the Eagles are bringing in running backs. And I think you can find the Eagles have had success in the past with unrestricted, undrafted free agent running backs, especially. So I got to go watch the kid, but I like the idea of bringing another running back.
Yeah, likewise. I got to watch him too, but I kind of feel like it's for camp purposes. I think we know who the main 3 guys are going to be. Boston Scott, he did get extended. I got really, really, really high hopes for Kenneth Gainwell this season. I think Kenneth Gainwell, some weird way, could potentially lead this team in rushing this year. I got really high hopes for Kenneth Gainwell. And of course, you got Miles Sanders. So I don't see the main 3 changing, but you definitely need to bring in some running backs because punt return yardage matters. Giving guys a break matters. So I'm all for the guys bringing in, some undrafted free agents at the running back position.
Yeah, and how many more games are we going to get out of Jordan Howard? Is he even going to make the roster? We've seen him come back, be productive, and then get a stinger or get nicked up, and then he's just not the same. And again, if you look at just the stature of a guy like Jerry Howard, you're looking more of the bruiser back. Boston Scott, although he's a little bit bigger, he still doesn't fit the key role of that. And I think that's when we were at our best, is when Howard was doing damage and you were killing it with Scott or Kenneth Gainwell. And I do see Kenneth Gainwell taking a leap this year, especially in the pass catching abilities. And Miles Sanders, he's going to be put on notice again because we haven't really gotten to contract negotiations with him. He knows that this is the end of the road, and he's just looking to get into the end zone. But Kenneth Gainwell's already talking on his Twitter like, I'm going to take a big leap. So, it's healthy competition, and that's what you want to see from that position, right? Where you got to be mean, you got to be tough, and you got to be available. And that's where if Miles Sanders has one of his hiccups again, you might be able to see a Kenneth Gainwell take that role, right? We know how we feel about Boston Scott. Like, we use him if necessary. But Kenneth Gainwell is a guy that we drafted, and we showed high usage to start this season off. He scored in Atlanta first game of the season. So with that being said, I think to complement the Miles Sanders type or the Kenneth Gainwell type, which they kind of fit the same role, you got to get a 225, you need that bruiser. I don't care how fast he is. It's the short yardage game to go along with Hurts, the bruiser, and either one of the scat backs.
Miles, I'm saying it now. I think this is Miles' breakout year. This is it. This is it because he wants a contract. Now, I still might not pay him because he's a running back, but this is his year. This has got to be his year, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. Miles Sanders, I was disappointed with him last year, to say the least. You're talking about a guy who didn't find an end zone at all. Everybody likes to tell me about, the explosiveness of Miles Sanders, but what happens when you aren't able to have those 60-yard, 50-yard touchdown runs?
Right.
What happens when you got to, get it? You got to grind for it 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? He disappeared in that regard. We could talk about him not getting the ball as much in the first half of the season, but it's 2 halves to a season. He got the ball quite a bit in the second half. I wanted to see him pop one of those big runs off that we know him to pop. And, it just didn't happen last year. And that kind of,
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I just say he's just been banged up too much, too.
Too much.
True.
He's always
Very
seemed
true.
like he's banged up,
Very true. Since we streaming on 2 channels, let me read this super chat real quick because I can't highlight it. I don't even know if you guys can see it. Shout out my guy Jason Wright, man, 499. He said, "Have you seen Britton Covey's highlights? Explosive returner. Kennedy Brooks looks like a dog too. Are we talking about that dude that was the track star?
The special teams kid, right?
From Oregon,
Kid
I
from
believe,
Utah,
right?
or is it Utah or I don't
Somewhere. I know he
it was
played
Utah.
since 2015.
No.
No.
This
This is the wide receiver.
running back.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I gotta check him out.
Hogan?
Britton Covey. Britton Covey.
I thought he was a receiver, but he could play special teams.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out though. Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Jason.
I definitely don't know that. And shout out to Josh. He said, "How did we get Denzel Washington on here?" And of
I
course,
just look like him.
Oh, you can
That's
see it.
all.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. But Philly 500 did bring up Kennedy Brooks. What did you think of him? Because that was the first undrafted running back, and it's funny that we're eventually double dipping in that position, right? So we got Kennedy Brooks right away, not right away, but like a day or two after the draft, and then a couple weeks later, Howie Roseman and his scouts searching around, and they find Georgia Tech or the other college, wherever he transferred to, Jerry Howard. This running back room is big, and we do like to keep guys on the practice squad. We saw how long a guy like Elijah Holyfield was on there. We had the speedster and Adrian Killins. We kind of advocated for bring Holyfield as the bruiser, bring Killins as a specialty player, and Killins got a chance. Not really Holyfield, but do you believe Kenny Brooks can make his way to the roster?
That was one of my favorite signings. I think that he's a guy who could possibly make this team, and he's got some size to him too, and I think obviously that's what they're looking for to complement Miles. But I thought that was a really good pickup. I thought the Eagles' undrafted free agent pickups were fantastic, to be honest.
Yeah, and we got to kind of look at this a different way too. Maybe it's not to compliment Miles. Maybe they don't plan on bringing Miles back, like you say, for like a long-term deal. Maybe they just want to make sure they got enough horses in the stable. So, you need running backs.
Yeah, and remember, one of the best years we had rushing when we were third in the NFL, and it actually catapulted us to that Super Bowl. As much as number 11, the old number 11, was playing good that season, we were still third in the NFL in rushing, and that was with a committee. Now, these names were bigger than some of the unknowns we have, because you had the Blunt, who was a little older. He was really used as that bruiser guy. You had Jay Ajayi, a little best of both worlds, and then you had Corey Clements out of Wisconsin, who had a little wiggle, who caught the ball to the backfield, had some of the biggest catches a running back can have in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be mad. You start to get the Kenneth Gainwells. Who knows what he's going to amount to? But if you have names like that, Gainwell, Boston Scott, you bring one of these guys up, you end up letting go of Howard, not because you don't believe in the potential, but just because he can't stay upright. A committee works, man. It's the position that you can turn over all the time. I wouldn't be mad really drafting a running back every other draft. I'm not talking early, getting somebody in the 5th or 6th round. Every other draft, you can get a guy like that. And I hate to just to downgrade that position, right? Philly Fresh will be mad at me because he's a running back, but it's just the way the NFL is going. I love these guys, but you pay to Saquon Barkley, look what happens. Ezekiel Elliott, even if you pay him on what he did, if you have 4 good years as a running back, you're pretty much done. So you can't get if you're a 1st round, 2nd round pick after 4 years, you get paid. You're getting the worst version of them. So it's not really worth it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it seems like it. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. And then when you talk about all these running backs, we just named like 10 running backs that we had in the past who were all productive for us. What's been the common denominator? You got that entire offensive line kind of still there from the 2017 season. So how do you think our offensive line stacks up against, the other great offensive lines. And in fact, how do you think our offensive line stacks up against every other offensive line in the division? Because I believe wholeheartedly we got the best O-line in this division.
Yeah, I think it's the best in the league.
Okay. So
I
just want to make sure
I think they could very well, especially look with Kelsey coming back and still playing at a high level, and you look at that left side with Dickerson and with I mean that is nasty, man. That is nasty. And then Lane, as long as Lane stays healthy, he's a really good right tackle. I personally want to see what they do at right guard. That's the spot that I'm watching because I'm not a big Sayamalu guy, and they let Herbig go. I thought he was okay at guard. The question is, can Kim Jurgens, is he going to play right guard for a year, or is he going to sit behind Jason Kelsey? So we'll see. But I think offensive line wise, I think they could have the best in the league.
Yeah. I always hold the tone of top three. I've been saying that for the longest time. If you really want to get nitpicking, you might be able to say this and third. And I actually am a Sayamalu fan. I always thought he got unfairly criticized because not last year though, because last year he got injured early, right? But you look at his tenure in Philly. When he looks to the left, it was Jason Peters, Hall of Famer, right? I'm not talking at the end of the season, at the end of his career. You look to the right, it was Hall of Famer Jason Kelsey. Then you had Brandon Brooks. Then you had Lane Johnson. So he was always the weakest link. But being the weakest link of all A pluses don't mean you're necessarily bad. But I always thought of him as a solid B type player, and that's another guy that we got later in the rounds. We've been very good with that.
You know what I like the idea with Sayamalu is that if he's on the bench and that he can play left guard, right guard, and you can move him all around. He's versatile like that. I like him in run blocking. I just think pass blocking, I think could be suspect sometimes with him. But he's versatile. There's no question about it.
I think you definitely find yourself with some type of void to fill if Cam Jurgens can't play guard. Because this is a high draft pick. I mean, if you're going to bring him in here, just to sit behind Kelsey for a whole year, I hope he can play guard. I would like to see him next to Kelsey getting that experience for when Kelsey leaves.
I got to ask you guys this. Because, you see the pictures, right? Back in the day, just came into the league, Andre Dillard, and the new and improved Andre Dillard, right? You saw the IG pictures, right? The body fat, the looking like a Brandon Brooks clone, blah, 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 blah. With that being said, losing Nate Herbig, right? Is that more of a sign that we are keeping Dillard and he's going to be, possibly a versatile piece, even though he hasn't been able to do it in the past? A guy you can try to plug and play in case injury as well? Or you think there's still a door open for a possible trade? I know that, reports have came out before the draft that we are not going to pick up his fifth-year option. And so that always leaves the door for a trade. But leaving a guy go like Herbig, when we have, I think we have room. And this is a team that always keeps an abundance of offensive linemen. Could that be a tale of, we're gonna let Andre Dillard maybe possibly stay on the roster, and if he finds a role, or are we still thinking about trading him in your eyes?
That's a good point, because I think I would keep him personally, especially if he can play the guard position, because it doesn't hurt to let him boost his stock. I think he's kind of in the same position that Derek Barnett is in. Derek Barnett got a chip on his shoulder. Andre Dillard should equally have that same chip on his shoulder.
I just had to look.
I mean, Andre Dillard chip shouldn't be as big as Derek Barnett's. But,
boulder.
That's right, He got a mountain, but I feel like that they both got something to prove, and I think if you start Andre Dillard this season, especially with the way he transformed his body, which was pretty impressive, he's taking it serious, so you never know what you can get out of him. He's a first-round pick.
I think with Dillard, I hope he can play a guard, but he had such a hard time at right tackle. It totally screwed him up for 2 years. I thought he played left tackle pretty good. I think that if the possibility comes to trade him during training camp, let's say a team has an injury, it may be a good chip to use then. I wouldn't trade him unless I get a second round pick though, because I think somebody could plug him in, and I think he could be a decent left tackle. I think he has that potential. Can he go to right guard or another position? I don't know. It was so bad when they tried to put him at right tackle that it scares me.
True.
Yeah, I will say this though, real quick, before we get to the super chat. Think about how Andre Dillard came into the league, right? Not only did we draft him in the first round, we moved up to get him. That just shows how much you want him, right? He comes in, he's okay at left tackle, right? He gets put to right tackle. He has a little, in his head type mistakes, and he's just horrible, right? He's already saying before, it's like writing with your opposite hand, like not even giving it a try. But to me, it feels like some of these guys come in with that first round grade, and they think, well, what I did got me a first round grade, so I'm not going to change it up. But just him taking the mindset, it took him a couple years in the league to realize I'm not good enough and go ahead and transfer his body. So maybe that's a whole new mindset. I'm not going to put all my eggs in the Andre Dillard basket for sure. Right. But, at least, better late than never. He's taken something serious. But I agree with you, 500. A second round pick is as far as I would go, for the simple fact that if you look at all 32 teams, I guarantee you there's at least 5 or 6 left tackles in the NFL that are worse than him starting. It's a very good position. It's not easy to fulfill, and he could start for some teams. So I wouldn't do anything less than a second.
And when he had to fill in, he did a decent job at left tackle. The problem is that Jordan Mailata is a beast. So it's just not going to overcome that. But he can start somewhere else. I believe that.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Ms. Robertson. I'm just reading the super chat. That's horrible, the gun violence that's going on, especially if it was in Philly. I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry for your
Sorry about that, Asia. I know you've been dealing with that. We're sorry to hear that.
Big time. Listen, she's a New York fan, but she's one of the most realest New York fans. She gives her team as much crap as we give them if it's necessary. She picks her fun, but like I said, there's not too many New York Giants and just New York fans in general that are cool. But Asia Roberson is one of the ones that definitely I vouch for 100%. Absolutely. And definitely prayers to everything that's going on. She said, again, what's good? I haven't been around lately besides working. Lost my cousin. Haven't seen him since we were little kids to gun violence, and I spent a majority at work crying in the bathroom, so I can't be happy anymore. Once again, prayers out to everybody in your family, and especially your cousin. Definitely. For sure.
This offense, let's lighten the mood a little bit. This offense is looking real scary right now. I mean, I'm not as worried about it. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts, man. I think that the deficiencies will clear themselves up just based upon the talent that you put around them. But how good can this offense be in you guys' eyes, especially with the addition of AJ Brown, pairing them up with Smitty, Quez, of potentially 3. It's looking, Dallas Goedert. It's looking real spooky, man. What are your expectations for this offense? How good you think they could be?
Go ahead, 500.
Well, if you think about it, like one of the best offensive lines in the league, I think they have one of the best receiving cores now in the league. They got one of the better tight ends in the league. They got a decent running game. So to me, if Jalen Hurts takes that step, which it's always, it's going to always be about, this is all about Jalen Hurts. But if he takes that step, if he takes that step, I think you're in the NFC. You could go to the NFC Championship game.
This is
because the NFC is wide open. It's all about him. It's all about him. But the Eagles did the right thing because nobody's going to come out of this season, right, saying, well, I don't know that Jalen Hurts not the guy. He doesn't have enough weapons. We're going to say, no, he had everything possible. So he's either going to succeed or he's going to fail. I like Jalen Hurts. I like everything about the kid, who he is as a person and what I've seen and what he says. Now I just want to see him go out there on the field and do it.
My timetable, though,
and I hope he does. What's that?
My timetable on the situation is like, now that you got all of this, I feel like if it's me, man, I would have tried to swing for the fences if this was my plan. I just don't think you put this much talent around a wait and see guy. This is the type of talent you build up to compete. You know what I mean? I feel like if you waste this talent this year, you could never have the same roster again. The only thing that keeps, in my opinion, the only thing that keeps this many guys together like this is at least getting to the NFC Championship game, so they can all want to run it back. So I feel like this is way too much talent just to see if somebody's the guy.
But they're young though. Like a lot of them are young.
That's true.
That's
very true.
And you got to let them develop. Like I don't look at this whole AJ Brown thing, and you guys. I did like, well, how many videos you better trade for Brown, Debo, or DK? Get one of those guys, sign them to an extension because they're all young. Mm-hmm. So to me, this wasn't just about next year; it's about the long term. But you got to remember, Hurts' contract extension comes up after this year. That's when you know they commit to him or not. When they give him that extension.
Yeah, cruise on. Big Blue ain't running nothing. The only thing is running is that blue super chat I got.
You run in the basement.
Y'all ain't been 500 in 5 years.
But listen, to that point, yeah, like think about it. We locked up Hassan Reddick for multiple years, AJ Brown multiple years, all these first round picks, all these picks are going to be here multiple years. We got most of our core on offense multiple years. If you look at the people who are going to be leaving soon, it's a Kelsey and a possible Lane Johnson. And I still think Lane Johnson got, a handful of years. I think the defense is going to be leaving sooner rather than later, but the offense is set up for Jalen Hurts to be the guy. I agree. It all comes back around to him. If you had to ask me, do I think he's going to take this step? I think there's steps going to be taken. I don't know how much. Here's the thing, I'm going to try to reserve judgment in a sense of he's out or he's in until the end of the season. But throughout the games, I will critique like I've always done, right? I'll talk to the stuff that needs to be talked about, and I'll try to keep it as fair as possible. But I'm not going to, no favoritism. With that being said, again, this still is year 3, year 2 starting. You do got to understand he's not going to come out game 1, game 2, like, oh, is this, a long-term veteran? But you got to see the strides that he took last year early in the season, and then you got to see it continue to grow. We can't have as many hiccups because what I felt like Jalen's did was good game, whoa. Good game, good. Whoa. So the woes kept going back. We're talking about the Giants game, Cowboys game, Bucks game. Like they were the games that stood out to me. Like, come on, can't do that. So with that being said, I got to see a forward stride throughout the season and just plays be made. And that's why I'm so happy about AJ Brown. He was able to be productive with a quarterback that you can say is equivalent to Jalen Hurts and a running game that is equivalent to ours. So he's productive in that situation. And I think it's only going to, and he's just going to do so much for Devontae. Think about this. Devontae had 900 yards in a rushing offense, rookie going against CB1s. Now he'll never see a CB1 again. If they do, it's a mistake because A.J. Brown going to manhandle the CB2. It's just so much. And all these guys can play inside, outside too. Like Quez can go inside, outside. And I think this really keeps Reagor off the field.
Just keep him the hell away.
Because 500 said it. 500 said it early in our last time we did a video together. He said, we all are talking about Devontae, Quez Watkins and a Zach Pascal. But with the roster we have now, Howie Roseman and his coaching staff is going to force Jalen Reagor on the field again. And I've said this multiple times in my video. Quez Watkins was our third option, and everybody corrects me. No, they weren't. He had more yards than Reagor. You're right. He was more productive. But Reagor was on the field more. So hence he was the second option that was duty. But at the end of the day, he was that. So if you have Quez as a full-time third option, he was a full-time third option with all the talent. I mean, the sky's the limit for sure.
Absolutely.
I believe Reagor got more attempts.
Yeah, he got snaps.
Yeah,
they literally planned things for Reagor. Like if they would have treated Devontae Smith like they treated Reagor, he would have had 1,200 yards. I mean, there were times where they didn't get Devontae Smith involved early enough, but they were trying to get Reagor. I mean, you look at the playoff game. I don't think Devontae Smith had a pass thrown to him until the third quarter. That should never happen. That should never happen.
I agree, but I think they were doing like some type of bracket coverage on Devontae. They was taking that option away and making Jalen Hurts read where to throw. And that's
where they can't do that no more.
Yeah,
no more.
They was taking it away and making him read the field. You take Devontae Smith away now, we could just make AJ a hot route. I think who's going to benefit the most out of this passing game is Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert is going to benefit a great deal with having these two wide receivers on the outside.
And you saw chemistry be made at the end of the season. Like he was not afraid. Like if there was a couple throws down the line that I said, wow, this is the anticipation throw we need. The one was to Greg Ward, that back shoulder. I forgot who it was. It was at the end of the season. It was a back shoulder to Greg Ward. I forgot who we were playing. Probably the Giants. But It was beautiful. But when you talk about just throw it up there, he was doing that with Goddard, and I can't wait to see that grow. But you know that AJ Brown, that 1 to 11, that 111 is going to be on point. But real quick, Mr. Lil E said, sock checks foes. I don't know what that means. And Asia one more time said, shout out to you guys for cheering her up. By the way, the Sixers, what's up with the Sixers and the Phillies over the Mets right now? Hey, shout out to the Phillies and the Sixers. They're going through it. They're going through it. For sure.
Phillies need pitching, dude. You need pitching.
I don't even want to talk about the Sixers.
No, it makes me sick.
Right.
My brother's a Heat fan too, so like I really got to deal with it. Like my brother fell far from the tree. He a Heat and Jets fan. I'm like,
here.
I had to check the birth certificate, make sure he's really.
I have a question for you. Guys. Okay, with the addition of AJ Brown, how much less running do you think the Eagles are going to do this year? We were a heavy run offense last year. Are they going to start to get away from that and let Jalen Hurts throw more? Because I think they might try that early on in the season and see if it works.
I think you kind of got to dial up a little more pass plays, but you can't forget about the run. We totally abandoned the run. It's a difference between abandoning the run and just having a game plan with a run, a mix and pass. I'm cool with a game plan that entails both because you got the tools to do it. You better use that offensive line. But if you flat out abandon it, I don't even think you're asking for trouble. I just think it's a bad game plan.
Yeah, I agree with 500. I think you're going to see that. Look, we all
flat
heard
out
the
abandonment.
rumors. No. We're gonna see a lot more passing, and rightfully so, right? You got to think that Jalen's going to feel more comfortable just in a Sirianni offense. They're going to have to give him more free reign. I think that Jalen Hurts was better throughout the year under center. I think you'll see more of a traditional offense. You'll see balance. And I think Sirianni really learned that because, as we all know, beginning of the season, it was all passing, no running. Then it got to a point where it was all running, no passing. And I low-key in my play-by-plays and games were like, we got to pass the ball more. And they're like, wow, you were just crying for the opposite. I think Nick Sirianni early in his coaching career went to the extremes on both sides. But he did start to find that balance at the end of the season. And so I think that's where you got to be, but you can't get all these new toys and not play with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what else I would like to see is I'd like to see them use the running backs more in a passing game too. I think there are plays we made with Gainwell and Miles Sanders out of the backfield. I think, and Boston Scott for that matter. But I think there should be a lot. I mean, because you're going to have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith getting a lot of attention, and I think those backs out of backfield could be deadly, dude.
I want to see some play action. I didn't see nearly enough play action last year.
Yep.
I think this team is set up to be, like a lure you in with the run, grind you down with the run, and go over the top with the play action. I think that's our best remedy for success in creating more deep shots. Play action.
Absolutely.
Play action has to be at the top of the game plan this upcoming season.
Exactly, especially when you are that dominant of a running team, right? That is what sets up. Sometimes you'll see early on in the game, a team will be 3 rushes for 4 yards, and then they'll come out with a play action like, who you fooling? We go ahead and hand it off. We ain't scared. You got 4 yards in 2 quarters. We want you to run. So I think that is a key. And if you're talking about if 500 wants to see passing, this is where Kenneth Gainwell can really start to, increase his snaps because he's been very deadly at that role.
Right. What's going to be interesting for the Eagles is when they're down 10-0, right? Or 17-7, and they have to go to the passing game to come back. That's when we're going to see how much of an improvement I think Jalen Hurts makes. Because I can tell you the exact game I saw Jalen Hurts start to improve was the second half of the Chargers game, where he wasn't leaving the pocket running to his right. He was staying in there and making passes. To me, that was the first time I really see him stay in the pocket and then deliver. And if he can grow in that, dude, he's gonna be fine. He'll be fine.
I think I saw it the first half of the Broncos game. That first half,
perfect.
Yeah, that first half was just crazy. I'm like, this dude can play quarterback. Only thing that went wrong was Quez dropping a touchdown pass. There was a lot of that last year.
Wide open.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. But that's the only thing that went wrong in a half. He would have had a 3-touchdown half. But the steps got to be taken, man. It's way too many weapons. I think that Jalen Hurts sets himself up for success if he just wins the division. NFC Championship, that's promising. But if he wins the division, you got to think about it. You're now looking at a quarterback that's been to the playoffs 2 years in a row, one being a division crown. You're looking at a guy that keeps excelling. If you win a division, that's better than having a wild card. You actually put a banner up in the stadium for that. You're looking at a guy that's continuing to improve. And I think that you bring a lot of talent back on his roster by capturing a division this year. And I wholeheartedly know we got the roster to do it.
Yeah, they're going to win a division.
Yeah,
I think so too.
That's actually the title of this. Are the Eagles the best in the NFC East? So we're going to tackle that real quick, but let's get to these super chats. Knight Rider, bro, just imagine if Nick's play calling was the same at the beginning of the season last year as the end, we would have been the top of the East, and we're going to be talking about that right now. Yeet said, by the way, Dillard, Barnett plus Reagor, who will play the best? Ooh, if you had to say Dillard, Barnett, and Reagor next year, it's not a great list to say who stands out, because you think Dillard is the best one, but he might not play. So go ahead, guys. Let me know who's going to stand out next year out of them three.
I think Barnett going to bounce back.
500, who you got?
I don't want to say it.
Because it's Barnett.
Because Barnett's going to actually play. Yeah. So I will also say he'll have the most penalties too.
Yeah. Hey, they said, I said stand out, but he said play the best, because standing out is penalties. I'm going to have to go Barnett too.
Barnett, I would love to see Barnett come out and be what he's supposed to be, man, but I just don't know, man.
I still remember when I first found Philly 500, it was I saw the Barnett video, and oh my goodness. And that was when, this was before he played, right? And I was hyped. I wasn't doing YouTube at the time. But man, it's wild. It's wild. Barnett has he had that Reggie White Tennessee sack thing tied to him. That was the thing that was just drawing you in, and it really let us down.
My most disliked video ever was my reaction to the Eagles drafting Barnett.
Shout out to D'Angelo Xavier. He said Hurts will have more room to change plays now. That's something that you'll see too. I want some plays to be standard too, because especially the RPOs that I just think we got to do less RPOs. No way you can do it 80% of the time.
I don't want him running as much.
I don't want him running at all. I want him
like
slinging that ball around.
Sometimes you got to run because the pocket breaks down or whatever. But I don't want design runs. I think that as quarterbacks get older, you got to get away from that. Otherwise, they get hurt. He already had ankle surgery, right? One of his players stepped on his ankle or whatever. I don't want him taking that punishment. I want him passing the ball or handing it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facts. Prince Yo 22 said, what do you think the starting linebacking lineup will be? And nobody's talking about Brandon Graham. It's like another off-season addition. That's facts. So listen, you got who's your rotation at linebacker? And do you count Hassan in there as linebacker, because his job should be to get to the passer? Who you think? You think Nakobe Dean scratches? You think week 1 Nakobe Dean's in the lineup?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I think he's an instant starter.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean is like, he's your Mike linebacker. Come on. What are we talking about?
That defense.
I think you're going to see. I think we're going to see hybrid defense, right? That's what they really wanted to run. They want to be able to run 4-3-3-4, be interchanging, and so when Reddick is in the 4-3, it's going to be him, Nakobe Dean, and White. I assume those will be the 3 linebackers. When I see passing downs, them going to 3-4 defense, he comes and he becomes the edge rusher, right? He comes out outside linebacker rushing. But I think Nakobe Dean was such a steal. I think he starts right away, man. I can't believe that. Not only I can't believe the guy was there, but I can't believe we took him.
Right.
That's the crazy thing.
You're so right. You're so right. Because I was live with Gate City, and every time, listen, even in the second round, when it came to us, I'm like, Nakobe Dean. He was like, so Gate City keeps going over his list of guys he can see the Eagles drafted. I'm just like, I just kept saying Nakobe Dean. I can't believe he fell that far. You're so right. And Cowboy Nation trying to run it back around, man. Every one of them. I see, and shout out to Notion, because Notion loves doing the funny stuff. He made a little collage of all the frownies that the Cowboy fans had when they drafted that walking penalty. We think the Barnett's bad on defense. The guy they drafted, who he can pancake guys. He's huge. He might have potential, but he led the college with penalties, and he had 17 in like 13 games.
The guy from LSU,
Tulsa, their offensive lineman they drafted in the first round.
First round. Yeah.
Tyler Smith.
That draft wasn't good. I don't care how they try to spin it. It
The
wasn't
funniest
worst
thing about the funniest thing about the Cowboys fans were they were all depressed night one. And then the next night they come back and they like talk themselves into all these picks, right? And then after the draft, you got Mark Holmes and people accusing the Eagles of stealing their players. Like we're stealing their players. They're morons.
That doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to have those guys. No, bro. Whoever pick them supposed to have them.
Yeah.
You know, the way the Philadelphia Eagles handle business this offseason has put fear in all of the top contenders, because this is a team that could potentially beat anybody they line up next to. It's just all about, and you know, we keep talking about Jalen Hurts. I need to hold Nick Sirianni accountable too. He need to do his job at a higher clip as well with this talent.
JG. Right. JG got some defensive players now. Right. No need. No talking about, well, do you go to work? I mean, the secondary a little thin, but we still a lot more talented.
But I tell you this, I really like the way that they're constructing this team better than 2017. 2017, you brought in Torrey Smith. He was older. Alshon Jeffrey, older. I mean, these guys are young. Hassan Reddick, 27. You got A.J. Brown, 24. Then you bring in all these young guys. I mean, to me, this is a team that could be good, especially if Jalen Hurts is the guy for the next 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, you hit it on that. You hit on a nose. See, we thought Carson Wentz was the guy. So what we did, right, is we got guys who could only be there for 1 or 2 years, and our window was 1 or 2 years. This is us building a team that the window can be, you know, it's going to, right now the window's cracked, but it's going to hit every month. It gets a little hotter. We're going to keep opening it up, and it's going to be able to stay open for a while as long as we continue to do it right. And we're happy about this draft, right? And let's not forget about last year's draft. We got 2 studs, Dickerson and Smitty, and let's not act like Milton Williams didn't turn up. He had the same amount of sacks as Derek Barnett, first round pick. With that being said, and way limited snaps too. With that being said, we could duplicate something like this year, next year. You're talking about why? Listen, if Hurts is the guy, we make a playoff run. Plus the Saints, like there's a bright future ahead of us. But real quick, let's knock these out quick. NZ Philly fan said, Sally, I think the Eagles won't give Hurts a new contract, good or bad performance. They'll trade him and get a rookie quarterback for 5 years on the cheap for a cheap contract.
I don't see that happening.
It depends it depends what he does. I mean, I think they haven't made a decision.
I think he'll take less money than he'll take less than a supermax to stay. I think he's that kind of guy. I think he'll literally take less than a supermax to stay. It's going to be so much. It's going to be a long-term cheap deal, and everybody's going to be happy, and he'll take it.
Yeah, but we got to get through this one. Prince Joe said, "Who do you think starts opposite of Graham?" So I'm with Sweat. Who you guys got?
Got to be Sweat.
Nobody's taking Sweat.
Basically earned the right.
Yeah, it has to be Josh Sweat.
Yeah.
If they come out with Derek Barnett, and I still not too happy with it, but I came to the okayness of if he's gonna rotate in every once in a while. I mean, it's less chance of him getting sacked. Do not play him on third down, though. Do not play him on third down.
Or the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, what game was that? That he did the like roughing. He pushed the guy out of bounds or something.
I think it was a San Francisco. Was it San Francisco?
Niners game. Yep, he calls it a Niner game.
I was gonna do a video saying they signed Derek Barnett as an April Fool's joke. That's like where I was at, and they really signed him. So the joke was on me. There's always a player that I just can't stand on this roster every year, and I hope Derek Barnett has 12 sacks, and I can say, hey man, he turned out to be okay, but I don't know.
Yeah. People act like we hate them like a person. No, we hate what they're doing for our team. I would love. Listen, I was on the live stream last night, and I was like, if we win this game, I might apologize to DeAndre Jordan. That's how bad I wanted to win the game. I'll apologize.
No, it's nothing personal. There's even like Regular and Nelson Aguilar. Like, it's nothing personal. I'm sure the nicest people in the world. It's football.
Jonathan Gannon doesn't have a lot of excuses left either.
Oh, he has zero.
Yeah, he has zero excuses. I actually think that this defense can potentially be good enough to make him a head coach somewhere next year. He don't have.
I'm scared of him. He scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, he scares me too. But I think what's going to save him, though, guys, is that he is going to blitz way more. And that shit is going to mask a lot of deficiencies. I mean, based upon the players that you signed and drafted alone, you got to dial up some blitzing. Like, you're crazy if you don't blitz more with Hassan Reddick and Kaiser White and Nakobe Dean. What he had,
Nakobe Dean did a lot of blitzing. Yeah,
right. He had like 7 sacks last year in college. People don't understand the magnitude of Nakobe Dean. People don't really understand that pick right there. Like, you're talking about a dude who was basically like, what did Baldy call him? A drill sergeant? I've seen very few linebackers stand up and look over the offensive line of scrimmage and say something to the front guys in the front, and they just shift. I'm like, dude got total command in his defense, man. He's a natural born leader. And
that was a pro defense they were running over there.
Yeah, that was a pro defense. That's what the pro. This is the main point that I think people are forgetting. You look at Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, you look at all those guys that came from Georgia. You got to understand that those are individually good players, yes, but they meshed well in the system. Playing good in a system with other good players is how you win championships at the next level. So don't show me any stats from who the Cowboys get. They want to keep comparing Nakobe Dean to what was the dude named Desmond? You guys seen that meme?
Yeah,
the dude from LSU.
Desmond Clark.
Yeah, right. So it's like Desmond Clark had better stats, but there was a 6-win team. If I could let a dude just run around rogue, of course he's gonna be able to get some sacks. Come on,
Alex Singleton led our team in tackle. That doesn't mean he tackled. Right. If you're tackling 10 yards down the field, it doesn't matter. It's first down.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man?
Alex Singleton had more tackles than everybody on the Cowboys roster.
That Jordan Davis pick to me
don't mean nothing.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people did not like it, but I thought it was the right pick. I thought it was the safe pick. And if this kid has heart and he goes out there and works, his talent is huge. I mean, this dude's massive, okay? Let me tell you, he's so big that every time I do a thumbnail, I can't fit anybody else on the thumbnail. Like, he takes up all the space. I'm not kidding you. Like, I can't put more than, like, another one person because he's that big. But, you know, people go, oh, he's Albert Hainsworth. And then they go, Albert Hainsworth is lazy. Why? Nobody said this kid is lazy. You can't judge his character yet. But if you look at his physical ability, he has a chance to be the most dominating defensive tackle in the league.
He has one job, and that is to command a double team. If he commands a double team, everybody else around him is going to eat. He'll prove his worth in that aspect alone if he commands a double team.
And here's the thing. We people talk about he can't pass rush. That's not true. He wasn't allowed to, for the simple fact that Georgia was so deep with Trevon Walker, Devontae Wyatt, Nakobe Dean sometimes blitzing, and Jordan Davis. They're like, look, our defense is stout. That their philosophy is rotate, not because guys are super tired, but because we want to keep you healthy for this thing. And yes, Stanema's going to have to play a part. He'll get on the regiment, but there's no doubt in my mind that he ain't going to apply himself to be the best. And he might slim down a little bit, but the freakish size, as you said, 500, he has the chance to be a one of one because we never saw somebody that fast, that big play that position. This is just what happens in sports, right? There was a Michael Jordan and there was a LeBron James, right? And I'm not saying like that, but at a position, there's a guy who takes it to the next level because of all the benefits we have growing up, right? Technology, learning this, there's camps now. So you never seen a guy that big run this fast, and he has a chance to be one of one.
He needs to lower his weight. I think he should play like 325. 325, I bet he's dominant, dude.
What are you now to 3?
I think he's like 340 right now, right?
He's 340. He was 360 in the championship.
Then he dropped down, right?
Dropped down to 340. He says he needs to get to about 330. I think about 325, 330. And he's a problem.
NFL weight.
Yeah, I think 330 is a problem. He's a problem at 330.
Real quick, shout out to B More. He said, look up AJ Brown's draft. Jalen Hurts was there. Jalen Hurts is everywhere, right?
He was sitting right next to AJ Brown during that draft.
Yep, congratulating him.
LP said, yo, Philly Mike, LB 500. The question is, despite the talent we have on defense, do we trust Gannon to set the right structure? As Philly 500 said, remember, multiple 80% completion percentage. And although we can blitz, let's get to that topic too, because that's on the title too. Although we can blitz, if Zach McPherson's starting on the outside. So like we heard the rumors about James Bradberry. Let me ask you, Bradberry is not the same as when the Giants signed him. He took down a little bit, but I still think this version of James Bradberry is still better than Steven Nelson. And I think if you gave us Steven Nelson back with the pass rush we have, that's formidable.
It don't matter. It does not matter if you're playing 8 yards off. It don't matter if you got. It don't matter if you got a bunch of damn gargoyles as pass rushers. If you're playing 8 yards off, they are going to switch their game plan and get that ball out immediately. And 8 yards to the death for a whole game, like we've seen happen to us. We got to play uptight coverage and bring the blitz. We got to make these quarterbacks think about it.
80% completion. So how many quarterbacks did that to them last year?
I want to say Dak twice.
Raiders, Tampa, Kansas City, a lot of the teams. Herbert killed us. Like I don't know if we can trust Gannon or not, because to me, when a quarterback's 15 to 16, I'm going after him. Like at some point, you got to change something up, and he doesn't do that. Will he now? We'll see. He's got the guys to do it, but I think if Bradberry comes free, I think you jump on it because he's coming in as your second corner, not your first corner. So, and that would make me actually feel a lot more comfortable with the safety back there too, because you're going to have Epps and Wallace. So if they don't go out and get a safety and they at least get a corner, I wouldn't feel as worried as I do right now.
I wasn't scared until I started talking to y'all, man. Because now I'm starting to remember all of the idiotic things that he did. Like he had Fletcher Cox out in the flats. I mean, I'm scared of this dude, bro. This dude can single-handedly overthink and ruin this great defense. Single-handedly do it.
I think though, and again, it's hard to really judge because as I said this, I kind of predicted, and I think we all did, that the defense would get better at the end because of the talent we were playing. So we haven't seen him really, step up and shape up, but the play calls were different. We were a lot more aggressive. In the last 7 games, we played a little bit more man. We were so zone heavy in the beginning of the season. We still predominantly played zone, but we did tend to play a little bit more man. They did bring the corners up a little bit at the tail end. But Mario Goodrich is one of them guys that I think that if you're playing predominantly zone, I think he could really fight. Like I think right now as you sit, right, McPherson, Gowan, that Vincent guy, you got Josh Jobe and Mario Goodrich. I'm not mad if they all compete, but here's my thing. Go get a veteran corner, right? Pay them minimal money, because if you're still out there, you're not gonna command that much money unless you're the Honey Badger, because he was methodically doing it, right? Just torturing us. With that being said, get a veteran in here. I don't care if they're washed. If these young guys beat that veteran, well, then I'm already more confident, and they just gain more confidence because they beat a veteran out. And it makes sense. But let me ask you guys this. If you had to only get one, are you more comfortable with finding a CB2 out of the guys on the roster or finding a safety with the 2 remaining there, Epps and Wallace? If you only could pick one, go into the season, find one of these young guys to be CB2 or find a safety. Which one are you more worried about? And you would like to, if you could only fix one, go get a veteran cornerback or a veteran safety. Which one would you do?
I would get
a cornerback. I go get a cornerback.
I said the same thing as 500. I did a video about that. I said, listen, I think the Eagles feel the same way. My whole thing is, we
I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why I'll get a safety, since I got the only different opinion. Because Steven Nelson and Darius Slay are talented enough to play a little bit of press.
Nelson is gone.
But yeah, I understand that. But we didn't even let him play press man. He ain't that bad that we couldn't have let him play press man. Imagine Darius Slay and Bradberry giving up 7 yards of coverage. I would spare myself through the TV, bro, if I ever seen something like that.
But what if you didn't have Bradberry?
I'm just saying hypothetically. But what other cornerback would you guys want that's on the market right now?
No. You just said you would rather have a safety.
I would.
So you're okay with CB2 being a McPherson, an undrafted free agent?
What I'm saying is the Gannon's pattern is showing me that it doesn't matter who it is. He's going to give him 7 yards cushion. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather not see Bradberry and Slay playing 7 yards off. That's my last impression of him.
Yeah,
that's my last impression of him. So I'm just going off.
I trust Epps more at safety than I trust McPherson at corner. You know what I mean?
I agree. But again, it don't matter who the cornerback is if he's playing 7 yards.
Well, I mean, we can't do nothing about that. I'll play corner. Pay me some money. I'll go.
It don't matter if we get primetime Dion. If he played with Gannon rolled out there last time, you're gonna get cooked.
Well, like I said, they did bring him in at the end of the season. I remember I used to have two TVs because the safeties wouldn't fit on my TV. I would have to extend it. That's how far we were back. But shout out to Zero J with the super chat. Really excited for this year. I know we're going to be a beast. Fly Eagles fly. Man, we're all, this is the worst part of it. This is the worst time of the year because after draft, you're so hype. All the trash talk comes out, and then you got to sit and wait these long summer months. It is.
And let me tell you, this is like the most excited I've been about the Eagles since 04.
Oh, that
since
big roster?
04, since when they got Owens and Pierce.
Oh, okay.
Because going into 2017, you thought the Eagles were going to be better, can compete for division. I didn't expect them to be a Super Bowl champion. This team's got talent like I ain't seen in a long time. And I didn't buy into the whole dream team either because I was like, oh, this I don't know about all this. But the way they've done it with the young guys, this is the most exciting I've been since 04.
It's something about Howie Roseman. Once his quarterback is in the second year of starting and the coach is in the second year of starting, he just goes for it. Like he did this with Doug in his second year. I think Howie sees a window, man. Howie's a visionary, man. He sees a window and he just put together a team that can contend, bro. I can't believe it happened that fast, bro.
I got you, bro. You heard him. I got you, bro.
What? Dude, Howie was feeling himself. Did you hear on
WIP?
He fired all his scouts. He's feeling himself, man.
You didn't hear it, LB? What he said in WIP?
Oh.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. He's like, have a little faith. I got you. I'll make some mistakes, but I got you, bro.
I played it in my last video. That's how the video come on.
One more good draft. I will do a dedicated apology video to Howie Roseman. But I need one more good draft.
Bro, I'm ready to do it now, bro.
No, I need one more. I got too much PTSD, man. Yeah. I got too much stuff. PTSD. I need one more.
I was on with Dan Cilio earlier last week sometime, and I'm like, bro, I forgive him. He couldn't believe I said it. I was like, I forgive him, Dan. I forgive him.
Yeah, I just dropped the video not yesterday, the day before, and it was all about the WIP stuff and how he feeling himself, and I kind of low-key forgave him, and some people were mad at me for forgiving him. He was like, how could you be blinded to everything? I'm like, listen, football is what have you done for me lately? And he's invited to the cookout right now. He's invited.
Bro,
I won't.
He's a Super Bowl. First of all, he's a Super Bowl winning GM who's proved that he could put together a roster good enough to win. You know what I mean? Listen, I forgive him, bro. I forgive him. I forgive him for Rager because he got us another wide receiver. Rager's out of the picture damn near.
I just keep thinking Danny Watkins. Danny Watkins. I can't do it. Bruh. I need one more year. But listen, he has had a great all season. I have no complaints with him the last 2 years.
Bro, we got the Butkus Award winner. We got the best linebacker in the nation in the draft. We've been wanting this. We need a wide receiver. We need a linebacker. Oh, God, we need this. Bro, he delivered. Hassan Reddick, pass rusher. Everything I said we needed was delivered.
Yeah, I did like 5 videos a day. You got to trade for Debo, DK, or AJ Brown. You got to trade you got to do one of them. And they did it. It was like, oh my God, finally. I think he listened.
He listened.
Yeah. But it makes sense. See, people were like, no, you can't spend that much money. If you spend the money now, by the time Devontae Smith is up for contract extension, that is going to be a bargain because guys like Justin Jefferson will reset the market. By the time you have to pay them, it's going to be like $40 million. You know what I mean? It's like,
yes,
it was smart, and he's 24 years old. Look at I loved it.
Right now, Carson Wentz's contract is a deal. That's a deal for Washington.
Right. If Carson was legit, we would have had him on this deal for a lot longer if he continued to do what we thought. You're right. Look, at the end of the day, everything's going up. I'm not going to stop driving my car because gas is getting expensive. No, I'm going to have to pay for it. Same with the receivers. If you want a B+ or A-, you're going to play 20+. Kurt, what's his name? The guy who went to the Jags. Christian Kirk got 18.5, dang near 19 mil. If you're giving a slot guy who can sometimes plays outside, he's talented, but I like him 18.5. It's just you're up.
I didn't think they were gonna give him that much money though. That's crazy.
That's considered cheap.
Yeah, and think about the way they did the contract. The extension, like he's only $5 million against the cap. I don't even think it kicks in until next year. So It's a smart move. It made a lot of sense. And I know, the reports are that they called San Francisco and offered the same thing for Debo. They didn't take it. They called Tennessee. Tennessee took it. And that's exactly how you should do it. And now when you look at this receiving core, I mean, they have a chance to be one of the best in the league. And by far, they're better than anybody in this division.
Yeah. The delusion of some of the teams in this, the delusion of the Dallas Cowboys, they think they have a better wide receiver core now. This is my thing about that. Devontae Smith has been a number one before. You know what I mean? AJ Brown has been a number one before. I don't think no wide receiver on the Cowboys roster right now has been a number one. I didn't consider CeeDee Lamb a number one when Cooper was there. I just consider him just a hot guy benefiting off, all of those guys around him. So I think we got a little more experience as well on our roster in the wide receiver room.
I would just say this, and I've been one of the guys who said, just because CeeDee Lamb went to Dallas, I'm not going to act like he's trash. I was high on CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, we all wanted him.
Yeah, yes. I think he's fantastic. I think that because of I think he could be utilized as good, if not better still than Justin Jefferson if he was right. I still think he's that type of dog. With that being said, okay, you got Michael Gallup coming off of ACL or Devontae. I'm taking Devontae. And if you're asking me CeeDee Lamb or A.J. Brown, I'm taking A.J. Brown because here's my thing too. A.J. Brown hasn't hit his ceiling at all yet either.
Right.
Think about the best wide receivers in the league. They get really good at 26, 27. Devontae Adams in his 25 plus when he started really going off, right? Stephon Diggs, 25 plus. Tyreek Hill, 25 plus. We are getting a guy who's already 1,000-yard receiver.
Multiple years. And
he's a baby still. Receivers get good at 25, 26, 27. And oh, by the way, he's under contract for the Eagles, all of them prime years. So when you look, and that's what I said today in my video, not only are we getting a fantastic wide receiver, but he's not at his ceiling yet. And he's going to reach it here.
Devontae Smith is 23. He's 24.
Exactly.
He's 1 year older than our basically sophomore guy, our guy coming into his first non-rookie year. So it was a great addition to the wide receiver core, and it sets you up for long-term success. Now, what this really does, bringing this guy to this roster, is it puts Jalen Reagor on notice. I'm actually surprised that we weren't able to move him. I wanted him gone. He averaged 17 yards a game, y'all.
Regular stinks. I think they're gonna, if they can't trade him, I really think they're gonna cut him. I mean, because listen, you don't want the Eagles to force him in the lineup because of the money he's making and where he was drafted. Howie can try to keep giving guys chances. Look at JJ or think of Whiteside. I don't want Reagor on this roster because I don't want him to get more snaps than Quez Watkins because he was a first-round pick. So I hope that they can either trade him or just flat out cut him. Seriously.
What they're going to keep doing is they're going to keep giving him more snaps than people that are in the slot that they're bumping him down to. Now they're going to give him Greg Ward snaps, which I think is wrong because Greg Ward earned his spot on his roster. Jalen Reagor got to go, bro.
Yeah, I think last year did it. I think this is the first time I ever heard Howie Roseman admit that he made a mistake, and he pretty much actually said Jalen Reagor's name in that same sentence. So I think this is finally the straw. But real quick, David said Dallas trying to dress a pig with red lipstick.
That's about right.
That's facts.
That's exactly.
Skid Mark says, when we got T.O., we went to the Super Bowl. We got Alshon, we went to the Super Bowl. I'm betting my enchiladas to win the division. Eagles at plus 250. Hey, get that money while it's hot.
To win the division?
To win the division. Get that money. Drop 100 on it real quick. Easy.
Right.
Drop 100 on that. Plus 250. You come out with bread.
I saw that comment like 20 minutes ago.
That is great. That's the greatest comment ever. And look, he's got me. I don't know where these people find these pictures of me.
But listen,
long hair. That was my John the Baptist days.
Oh Lord, G with the super chat. That was a great comment, but I still got time to make some wrong decisions.
Come on over, I'll help you.
If we could get Bradberry lined up on the other side of Slay, this could be a dangerous defense, and I think that
top 5 automatically.
And that low key covers up the safety a little bit because it's, the way Gannon plays the safeties, you don't have to have that super heavy playmaker. Now, maybe if we did have a playmaker, he would adjust a little bit, but we're talking about JG. I'm not sure. Raw Rap Radio, real quick. Last one that we just caught up. I'm just glad we have actual potential to be versatile in our scheme now. He's not saying we will, but we got the potential to be versatile.
Yeah.
But let's get to this NFC East real quick. But before we do that, listen, we got 1,254 people watching. Again, we are live on 2 channels. We live on LB's channel and we live on Philly Talk Podcast. Listen, wherever you're watching it, hit the like button. And if for some reason you're not subscribed to any one of these guys on the panel, all you gotta do is search the name in the search bar, anybody's name, and they'll come up. And if you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying. With that being said, NFC East list 1, 2, 3,
That's what I'm talking
4.
about.
Your prediction, of course, I think we all got the Eagles because we all really feeling ourselves. But then give me 2, 3, 4 NFC East on the worry radar.
The Eagles going to be first. Washington going to be second. The Giants going to be third. The Cowboys going to be fourth in this division.
I was waiting for him to say that.
At the goddamn
I wanted
bottom.
him to say it.
At the bottom of the Titanic.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right, go ahead, 500.
I want to say the same. I'm going to say Eagles, Washington, Dallas, and the Giants. I can't give the Giants anything because I don't know what to expect from their coaching staff. I don't know what to expect from Daniel Jones. So I'll say Dallas third. I do think Dallas takes a giant step back. I definitely do.
They coming in
Yeah,
fourth place.
see, low key, again, and some people still call me a Carson hater. I'm just pretty much just out on the guy. I don't like him. I don't hate him. I'm just normal. It's the best quarterback Washington had in a while. Even if he plays good game, bad game, good game, bad game. I just don't know. Ron Rivera with Carson Wentz, 2 guys that are like a little bit weird in their own right. I honestly still think Dallas has definitely took a step back, and that's why we catapult in the front. I still think they will be number 2. So I'm gonna go Dallas, Washington, Giants. But I got the Giants still in the basement. They just don't know how to get out. This is going on for
My daughter
nickel.
5. It's been going on my daughter's whole
nickel.
life. It's been going on my daughter's whole life.
Hey, listen, they didn't extend Daniel Jones. I mean, what does Daniel Jones think about going into the last season or his contract where they're not going to extend him and they basically say, we don't believe in you. So, the question for me about the Giants right now is, will they cut Bradberry? I hope to God that they do.
They can't afford him, I don't think. I think it's a money issue.
Yeah.
Because look, right now, his cap hit this year coming up is $21 million. $21 million. And the Giants can save $10 million if they cut him. So again, I think if you look at his stats, the first year he got in New York, that he was still pretty good. And again, remember, he was their CB1. So he's guarding everybody's best player to say, right? Year 1, pretty good. Year 2, he was a little bit better than Steven. He's better than Steven Nelson, but he's not top tier. But when you bring him and you put him now as number 2, I mean, it's a beautiful recipe. Howie Roseman, well, I think 500, he gets James Bradberry. You might have to speed up the video. If he gets James Bradberry, you might have to speed up that video for this offseason. But
I might. If he pulls that off, I might.
But 500. He had 2 good ones in a row though. So
he had 2 good ones in a row.
Are you saying we need 3 good ones for you?
That's what I said. I said after last draft, after they got Devontae Smith, I said, give me 2 more of these, and I'll do a dedicated apology video. But until then, and I got to stick to my guns on it because who knows what he'll do next year? Who knows?
I would be so mad if he has a bad draft next year.
Oh yeah,
because I already forgave him.
Yeah, me too, low key. Michael Carter said, this is interesting, and I know we all touched on it on our own, but how do y'all feel about JJ playing tight end? Let me just say this, though. Do you ever think he sees the field, not just for blocking, but he actually runs a route and catches a ball? The Eagles going to put him at the tight end position and actually have him catch a ball this season.
I think so.
Third preseason game. The last preseason game when he always does something is when he'll catch a ball. I think it's a waste of time because people think, well, he can block defensive backs, but that's not like blocking linebackers and defensive ends. I think if he's going to be successful as a tight end, he's going to have to be able to catch. He's going to have to be a receiving tight end. And
I agree. Think about it. If you got like a 3rd and long, and you coming out with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Really, you come out there with 3 wide receivers if you bring out Arthur Whiteside. So it kind of makes your package a little more explosive, but he found
Pause.
a way. Pause. Pause. Yeah, pause. That was a good pause. That was a good pause on the explosive package.
I had to save you there.
What are we talking about? Who was that had the explosive packages back in the day? Was that Al Qaeda? They was doing all that stuff for the bell. But anyway, he did something that was crazy. He found use for himself. Like, it didn't work out at wide receiver, but at least they were able to identify, hey, maybe it might work here. Jalen Reagor has no use. He has no use. He can't field punts. He can't catch. He can't run routes. He can't even keep a face that says, I look like I want to be here. Yes. And it's going to cost us a lot of money if we keep him around. I think we got to do something about it this offseason.
And the reason JJ's even getting off the hook is because of Reagor, right? All our attention is focused on him. JJ could just hide under the umbrella and be okay and be like, look, they want me to try out tight end. I must be doing something right. I agree with 500 right away. Like, I mean, go ahead and have a little fun. Do it in training camp. Do it in preseason. But, he's not blocking better than Jack Stahl or Richard Rodgers. And again, he's a guy who blocks a DB mainly. A DB, once in a while, a safety, a nickel back. You're not blocking the Von Millers. You're not blocking the Brandon Grahams of the world. And if you're going against the Rams and Aaron Donald comes on a stunt and you got to help chip Aaron Donald, good night. Good night.
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. If Whiteside is going to make it as a tight end, it's going to be a receiving tight end. He's not. I can't trust him to block linebackers and defensive end. I don't think.
I want to see it. The first time I see him get steamrolled, then I'm like, all right, get him out of there. But I haven't seen him in that position. He can do it.
What do you guys think of this kid we got? What's his name? Carsoletta or whatever.
Oh,
it sounds like that kid has some upside to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a security blanket for Kyler Murray. Even Jalen Hurts at one point.
Jalen Hurts,
long. Who was the other guy over there? Wasn't it Baker Mayfield? He was a security blanket for quite a couple good quarterbacks who were NFL level. I think he got some upside too.
Yeah. His problem was at Oklahoma, he was legit, and he played tight end, but he was more that receiving type tight end. Like, he actually played receiver in the slot sometimes. Like, he moved into the slot outside and let him go to work. Big guy, 6'7". His problem was with all the concussions he was having and all the injuries, he decided to take a little time off, and he was going to be. I know I don't want to say because you hear firefighter, you think of Watkins, Danny Watkins, but he thought about retiring, and then when he came back, he played at SMU. But this is low key a guy that the potential we had for Tyrese Jackson, the guy who was catching all them balls at in mini camp and stuff, and a 6'7" body, a guy who could box out and do all the things. Pauls. Got it. With that being said, I think Garrett Casatera is low key. And listen, Skip Bayless hates the Eagles. There's no reason for him to talk nice. And I still listen to that show every once in a while. And he's big on Calcaterra.
My thing is this, man. If you had an issue with concussions in college, you're damn sure going to have an issue with them at the next level. You talk about some of these guys are on.
Don't say we're not trying to get drug. We're not trying to get these guys drug tested. Listen, who just got suspended?
Hopkins.
Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins.
So listen, we don't got to give no reason for the NFL.
No,
I was gonna say these guys are on advanced workout regimens.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? These guys are freakish athletes and they're grown men. It's a such thing as grown men's strength. Listen, a 30-year-old that's been working out for a long time is stronger than a kid fresh out of high school playing football. You get hit by Hassan Reddick. You know what I mean? In today's NFL, and you got an injury history, you might be a little fuzzy getting up from that one. So I just don't. Hopefully he stays healthy. That's all I can say about him.
Shout out to Michael Jones. He said if we would have grabbed Jefferson, will be a Smitty.
I don't think he's there. I don't think we have Devontae Smith if you have Jefferson.
That's facts. Yeah. See, and so it's again, look, we love AJ Brown here, but if we would have been hitting, if we had a Justin Jefferson and a DK Metcalf, we'd be set up. Don't get me wrong. We don't know how they would develop over here. Maybe would have been a little lenient. Too many what ifs, but right now we're sitting with the best wide receiver duo we've had for my life. T.O. was great, but
nobody else.
Who was on the side of T.O.? I mean,
it was.
Todd Pinkston.
It was A and C. We got A plus and A-. I love it. Aaron with the $10 super chat. We went 9-8 last season. We have a better roster. Sirianni is in his second year, and Jalen will be better because he improves every year. We also have an easier schedule. We should go 11-6 or 12-5. Let me ask you guys. That's a great prediction, Aaron. How we're feeling now and again? We on this draft and we on that little football high, right? Do you see a scenario where we go under the record we had last year? Do you see a scenario where somehow we win less than 9 games?
Only if you're injured, like you're riddled with injury. I think only injury can do that.
There's no way in hell we win less than 9 games. I'm telling you.
Listen, I had us winning 8 or 9 going into this season, between 7 and 9.
Before the big moves.
Before the moves. So I'm thinking now 10 to 12 at least.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Maybe more.
I feel 11 is the minimum. I feel 11 games minimum for this roster. I'm out. Listen, dude in his 3rd year, 2nd time in the offense now. Your coach ain't no rookie no more. You bringing back Darius Slayer's season. Your whole offensive line and defensive line is studded with, Super Bowl champions, and they still been together. It's basically a conglomerate, a band of brothers who know each other very well. Hassan Reddick is a savage. You bring in a championship caliber from college and Devontae Smith and those Georgia boys you just picked up. This team better win 11 games. 11 games is the minimum for this team, man. That's the bottom line, man. 11 games is the minimum. It's way too much. This is one of the most talented Eagles rosters of all time on paper. One of the most talented ones of all time. It got to come to fruition for me. I ain't worried. I can't wait. I ain't worried.
When's the schedule come out next
the 12th
next week, right?
Next Thursday.
That's going to be interesting. I swear, I hope we play Washington week 1, Monday Night Football.
In Philly?
That's what
they ain't trying to do that to Carson. Listen, it's nobody in our division. There's nobody in our division 500 that could withstand this pass rush. If Gannon come in this thing, who can block this pass rush? The Cowboys cannot block us right now.
No.
I'm certain of it. Neither can Washington.
No, and Dak doesn't have the weapons. I mean, he's got CeeDee Lamb, but like Mike said, Gallup's coming off of ACL. You lost Cedric Wilson, and you lost Amari
tight
Cooper.
End. Didn't they lose their tight end too?
Did they lose a tight end?
No. They franchise tagged him. My bad. They franchise tagged him.
But they don't have the weapons they had. You know what I mean?
But Kaiser White can run with Dalton Schultz. So can Kobe Dean. You now have coverage linebackers with the instincts of guys that can play close, to the line of scrimmage. Safety is a concern for me, though, because I feel like Epps is best playing in the box because he want to go out there and hit something. You know what I mean? I feel like we don't
have the free range guy no more. We don't have it. Right. Anthony Harris back in the day was, but at his older age, he's better used in the box.
You might
but
see some Maddox back there if McPherson can develop.
I just love Maddox so much in the slot. I think when you keep Maddox in the slot, he's legit. He could make a Pro Bowl at that position. Then you start moving him around, and that's why he got treated unfairly early in his career because he was like slot good. Then remember we had him back there playing safety, and then what his name Sendeo took him out in that Packers game. Our own player took him out. So
they had him outside. They had him outside corner. They had him safety. I mean, they had him everywhere.
Yeah, he definitely earned that extension.
Yeah. Listen, again, that 2018 draft, Goddard, Mulata, Maddox, Sweat, all future players, all young future players for the Eagles.
All got extensions.
Yep. Kev said, I'm excited about the young cornerbacks we brought in. I think there might be some potential, could already have what we're looking for. Let me ask you this. Okay, let's just throw one out there. We have a lot of young cornerbacks. Who knows if we bring a vet in, right? McPherson, McPherson, 4th round pick. Tay Gowan was a 6th round pick that we got in the trade for Zach Ertz. Troy Vincent was an LSU corner. He was a 6th or 7th round pick. Not Troy Vincent, Kerry Vincent Jr. My bad. I keep saying that. Somebody correcting on my video too. I said Troy Vincent.
I'm like, Troy Vincent's son?
I'm all like, yeah, we got him. Nah. So Kerry Vincent, Tay Gowan, Zach McPherson, Mario Goodrich, Josh Jobe. If you had to just say, you know what, I'm not too familiar with any of them, but I'm going to say this guy sticks out the most. Who you guys going with? Throw a dart.
Goodrich.
You just going to – I should have went first.
Goodrich. I'm going to tell you why. Because he should have been drafted. You know what I mean? When you look at his tape, the instincts are eye-popping. I don't think you see a lot of turnovers, but dude tackles, man, really, really well. He tackles really, really well.
And
he
he's
got
good
nice
with zone.
size. Right. You know what I mean? He's really good in zone, which we play. He just sticks out to me, man. He was the steal.
I'm going to go
Which is why we paid him
McPherson.
the way we paid him.
Okay, homegrown. He's going homegrown.
I'm gonna go McPherson. He showed some flashes last year, early in camp, and I'm gonna say he takes the next step if we have to throw a dart.
I hope
so. Now I'm on the island. When he took my Goodrich guy, right? Listen, I mean, the guy talks the talk, right? When he came into the league, because he was drafted in the 6th round, he said, "I'm the Tom Brady of cornerbacks." This is a guy out of UCF, and that's Tay Gowan. So I'm gonna go with Tay Gowan. I wanted Mario Goodrich because he's got that dog in him. And but I
think he makes the roster. I think Mario Goodrich is going to make the
roster. What do you guys think? Is there any hope for Kavon Wallace this year?
I was just about to ask you that. No, that's not. I don't think so.
But you don't think
so? I don't think there's no hope for him right now. I mean, he's had a lot of chances. He's had a lot of chances to perform.
He keeps getting hurt though. You think he's like bad performance taken? It's not so much he got benched because he gets beat. The one time he got beat bad and it was his first game in, but we threw him in there against Kittle. Like, come on, you can't throw a rookie in there against Kittle. I do not believe he's going to translate to what I thought he would be, but I think he's gonna get he's gonna get a lot of snaps this year.
I don't know. I'm just wait and see with him, man. He's hurt way too much. You know what I mean?
I agree. So, and he does a lot of chirping. Like I said, right now, if I'm the Eagles, I'm starting Epps. I'm putting him in just because you need depth, but I think you got to, like, again, the back end is already bad, and we got young players, and we got people who we can put out on the field. But I think you got to bring a veteran in for one of them positions just to compete at least.
Yeah, no, I agree. Agreed.
Hey, JB said, bang that like button for French Montana Denzel and the new Benny Siegel. Them tracks are fire, by the way, LB.
Hey,
I'm waiting for LB to get back. Let him know. He had 17 birds, 17 minutes. LB, you good? You're still on mute.
My bad. My daughter got out of the bed.
Hey, that's good stuff though. He did a rescue on point with it.
Right.
He said them some fire tracks you've been laying out there.
Oh, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. He said J-Jaw will be a red zone tight end. The big 3 with J-Jaw. We got to see it to believe it.
Got to catch the ball first
and run the route, the right route. What are we gonna do with TJ and Davion? That is a good question. Like,
great question.
Davion potential keeps getting hurt. TJ actually played the best out of all the linebackers last year. So coming off his best year at a linebacker, being healthy, Davion showing signs but keeps getting hurt. Now you throw Kobe Dean, Kaiser White.
Honestly, to be fair, I really feel like that TJ Edwards been improving. He's been improving every year. I kind of feel like some way, some shape or form, he got to be tied for the most snaps at the linebacker position, at least to start off the year. And you got to kind of bring some of these guys in slow. You just can't throw. If you want to throw him to the wayside, you could have just traded him. You know what I mean? You just can't he's been playing good.
All of a sudden, the Eagles are deep at linebacker. Yeah, right, I'm letting them fight too.
I'm letting them all fight. Listen, that's the one group that I'm going right when camp starts. I'm like, listen, nobody's job safe. Kaiser White, we brought you in on a 1-year deal. We gave you $5 million. But you got there should be, you got to go to that room because that room do got some talent. I mean, a lot of talent now. You got to go to that room and leave it a total unknown. You know, we could talk about who we think should be better and this and the third, but that room has the potential to push each other too. You can get the best, the iron sharpen iron type motto. And, that group is probably going to be the most unknown. Does TJ keep his spot? Does Davion say, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Who knows? But the Kobe Dean, that's a I know a lot. Davion Taylor was sitting at home, right? He was like, dang, they drafted Dean. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the linebackers were put on notice. When Dean got picked, they were all like, well, I'm gonna have a hard time playing because he got that dog in him.
I'm gonna tell you what I don't want to see with Kobe Dean is I don't want to see him on no damn special teams. That's what I don't want to see. From the rip, he need to be getting them quality reps at the position that he's gonna be spending the rest of his life at as a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I've not been excited for a linebacker like this since Seth Joyner. And I go way back. Seth
Yeah,
Jr.
I was pretty excited about Jeremiah Trotter. He used to be.
I like Trotter, but Seth Jr. was on another level.
Seth
And
was different.
And like I think Dean has that kind of potential. What I like about Dean is he's got a chip on his shoulder. Like you could see he was pissed off. Mm-hmm. He was insulted.
The first thing he said was, "They cost me money."
And
that's the first
somebody really screwed with him big time, man. Somebody messed with him.
If look, when 83 came, I was looking at the board. I'm like, I don't even see any Howie type guys. Like this gotta be. And although I said it gotta be, my subconscious was like, he's not gonna do it. I was at the point where I'm like, listen, Howie, I'm loving this draft. And I was thrown off by the Jurgens thing until, I had Gate break it down in the chat. Let me know they brought me back.
I love that pick. I love it.
I did not say I hated it. I did not say I like it. I was like, I don't know him too much. You know what I mean? And so people started talking about it. But with that Nakobe Dean pick, I was low key in my head saying this could be the break. This could be like the Howie. I'm gonna come back. It's gonna haunt us again. And when they sent Nakobe Dean, I was like, dreams really do come true.
I was pissed off with that Cam Jurgens pick.
Were you?
Because I wanted the Kobe Dean at 51.
So yeah, I would say that too. I was pounding for 51.
I wanted him at 51. I was pissed. All I could think about is if he slipped to 51, get him.
I would have not have minded Kobe Dean. I didn't think he would make it to the third round. But the Jurgens pick, I wasn't surprised at all by it. I mean, it's not one of those picks you jump out of your chair and go, yes. But if you think about it, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with making your strength stronger. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, I saw on a lot of teams' big boards, a lot of people had him over Tyler Lindenbaum. So I'm not mad at that. So if people think of him in that high regard, and I also got a gentleman who's a former athlete, at the position coming to talk about why he's such a good pick. Probably next week. So that should be an interesting video to get some insight from an offensive lineman on him.
But you know what made the Jurgens pick though was the Nakobe Dean pick. Once you got him, then you love the Jurgens pick even more.
Yeah,
right. Because it's like how we just he just finessed his way into getting everything right.
Yeah,
Jurgens would not have been there in the third round.
Exactly,
he would not have been there.
He's like 7-11, bang. He was just getting him. But here's the other thing. I was about to say, when you just look at, I just totally lost it. I had something I wanted to say.
2500 moment.
It just escaped me. It was about the 83rd. Oh, again, we're all calling him to steal the draft, right? And now everybody's like, of course he's a steal the draft to you. He's an Eagle. Look, I'm on record on the live stream saying after we picked 51, every team that came up on the board that I thought could kind of use a linebacker, I was like, pick 62. If they get Nakobe Dean here, steal the draft. Pick 71. If we get Nakobe Dean here, steal the draft. Pick 79, get Nakobe Dean here. So I was saying it for every team that I thought might take him. And he happened to fall to us. Now they don't want to. Now they think we're just saying it because he's an Eagle. No, the whole world saying it. That's just not the NFC East.
It's so delusional to say that this dude is not the steal of the draft, man. I don't think people understand or are processing what we got at 83. I'm more excited about Nakobe Dean than I am of Jordan Davis. He's the most exciting pick out of this year's draft for me because you are talking about drafting a guy who's cut from the cloth of guys like Ray Lewis, who's cut from the cloth of guys of that type of leadership mold. I'm not going to say he's going to have the stats as those guys, but to be he's going to be the guy breaking the huddle down soon. People got to understand what this pick really means. He's going to be that guy.
Yeah, and he's he's smart. What did he go to? He got like
mechanical
a master's in engineering.
Something like that.
So he's just as you said, he was able to diagnose the playbook and rotate that. Listen, he's going to be that dude in the middle for a long time.
Right. And we have not had a linebacker this promising my whole damn life. I can't wait, bro. I cannot wait to see this defense.
What I want to know is because I keep hearing people say, "Oh, he's injured. He's injured." Then he says he's not injured. Like this dude is not injured, right? Like, what's the real deal? What's going on with him, though?
chest size, arm size. It's a lot of people on there. See, these weirdos who come out here with these clipboards and they say, "Oh, your body fat is this." You know, they got all these measurements for what they think a human being can do, but they're saying his arms are too short. They're saying his chest isn't broad enough. Dude, I don't care about none of that, man. Because once you're on the field and you see what this dude could do sideline to sideline, the way he can diagnose a play, the intellect of the player itself, anything he lacks in physical attributes, he got it in the mental capacity. He just is where he's supposed to be at all times.
You know what I like about him? He can blitz.
Oh,
big time.
He loves it.
I love linebackers that can bring the heat.
It's like he got GPS, man. He sees the line shift and he sees the hole and he's right through it. Like a hot knife through butter, man. And we need that. We need that type of pressure.
And another thing was that he's with all his limitations is that in the NFL, can he get through the gaps? And he benefited for Jordan Davis clogging up the hole. Well, guess what? He came into the NFL with Jordan Davis. He got a guy like Fletcher Cox on the side. The Eagles are always going to invest in defensive line. So if he plays behind a good defensive line like he did at Georgia, he's always going to excel in his game. But 500, you're right in the sense of there still was something leaked that was, listen, NFL teams are a little dumb when it comes to measurables, right? They want to swear by their measurable stuff, but there were certain things that were leaked about his shoulder, his pec, or some whatever that you know it might have to have some type of truth to it. I couldn't find the exact story, but something was out there that made him fall, because you go from a top 25 pick to 83, there was lies or distorted information out there besides his height, weight, and all that really hurt him. But
what if it was Howie? What if Howie was an evil genius and he planned all this to get him to fall to the third round? That would be some shit, right?
Yeah, Howie Roseman.
I'd have to call him Saul Goodman. Like, he'd be like Better Call Saul for Breaking Bad if he was able to pull that off.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert, though. He said, since Rager is good at using Twitter, maybe we should move him to the office position for marketing. It would be the only use for him on the team.
He took all his Eagle stuff down, right? He took all.
Yeah, he took it all down.
It's still down?
Yeah,
it's still down?
As far as I know.
So I'm guessing that he knew about the A.J. Brown pick before it was announced.
He did it during the first round, right? Like, that's when it first happened? Like,
so.
On day one of the draft?
So he probably found out about the pick when we found out, and then he got in his feelings about that.
You see, that's why I thought he was possibly being traded at the draft, but then now he's, we're a week later and he's still on the roster.
That's such a childish approach.
Yeah.
I understand.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I understand guys like Debo doing it. I understand guys who prove something. If you haven't proved anything, what are you doing? You need to leave that shit up there for as long as it could be up there. That might be the last team you ever play for. You know what I mean? What is he doing?
Yeah.
What does he cost? I have to look it up. I wonder what his dead money hit is.
It's pretty big. It's hard to cut him. I don't think, even though Howie kind of admitted his mistake, I think that keeps him off the field, but I don't think you cut him. I just think that hopefully we get it. Nah, I don't want to wish nothing, but if a team needs a receiver due to injuries, you never know. They might come knocking. Maybe.
I think if you care about him, you give him the opportunity to go somewhere else where he'll be able to get on the field a little more and salvage his career, because he's buried on his depth chart now.
He's not going to get – it's over.
Yeah.
It's over mentally here. There's no way. No way.
Send him to Washington with Carson. I'm serious. That might help him.
Double agent. Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to David, though. He said, people forget about Hassan Reddick. They aren't talking about him enough.
Yeah,
well,
facts.
I know we were a little late on the super chat, but we gave you your daily dose of Hassan Reddick. I think he's going to be one of them guys. Like, again, that was the first move made. Now we got the Jordan Davis and we got all these new toys, but we're not forgetting about him. Listen, and he speaks our language. He straight up said on Twitter, listen, if any of my friends or family Cowboy fans, don't come asking me for tickets. He speaks our language through and throughout. I can't wait to see him.
He's had double-digit sacks on 2 different teams.
Yep.
I expect him to do that again. I have no worries about Reddick, adjusting to this defense.
20+ sacks the last 2 years.
23.5, yeah. And listen, I say this all the time. I said it, on a lot of Go Talk episodes. Like, I know he was good in Arizona, but how he was using Carolina is the way to use him, for the simple fact that he played for Matt Rule. Matt Rule was his coach at Temple, right? So, like, he got him to the NFL. Well, Hassan had talent too, but he made scouts understand what he can do in that system. Then he also excelled at it at the NFL level. So whatever Matt Rule did, Jonathan Gannon just watch Carolina tape. And then I think really though, like, you know, our D line's dirty and whatnot, but still, you got to gain. I think you gotta set your defense up to favor a guy like Reddick too, because you know you got Jordan Davis. You know, big play Slay's one of them ones in the backfield. Fletch is a leader on a team, but the way you can use Reddick, right? Because he's an outside linebacker. Is he going to rush the passer? Is he going to do this, that? Like you really got to. He's a focal point of where defense is going to be like, what is Reddick doing? What is Reddick doing?
Right.
It's just going to be so much you can do with him.
Yeah, because sometimes you can line him up on the edge as well, and that'll give the defense something to think about as well. So you're right about that. I think lining them up on the edge on key downs gives us the flexibility to have a Nakobe Dean out there with Kaiser White and TJ Edwards and Hassan Reddick. Like that's like a deadly little, combination. But what does that do with Graham and Sweat? You know what I mean?
Well, real quick, before we get to these super chats, because they're building up, I gotta ask you guys, if you guys had to pick, what do you prefer? A 3-4 or a 4-3? You guys.
I'm a 4-3 guy. I go back to the old Buddy Ryan 4-3, 46 defense time. I think 4-3 is what I like more. But
I would run 4-3 as well.
But I don't mind the hybrid. Yeah. I think that's interesting.
I think it plays more into your hand to run 4-3 because why the hell would you not have Jordan Davis next to Fletcher Cox or Hargrave? You got to have those two giant walls in the middle at all times. That's what you paid and drafted for. Have them both on the field at the same time.
Yeah, this year you still got to do it, but I think we're trending to a 3-4 in the sense of Reddick could be a full-time pass rusher. Fletch is going after this year most likely, and then you got the nose tackle in Jordan Davis. But here's my thing. I agree with you. I'm 31 years old. I don't know much of the Eagles without the 4-3, the Jim Johnson, even era and all that. Plus, if I'm playing Madden and I pick a team with a 3-4, I low-key switch it to a 4-3. I can't play with it on Madden. But I think if you look at the NFL, some of these I think the NFL is trending 2-3-4 because there's so many hybrid players that are going to be that Hassan Reddick now. You're not, so I think it's trending that way, but I just want to get your take on it because
and a lot of these defenses want to be able to be in 3-4s and 4-3s depending on the downs and be able to switch, which makes it harder for offenses. So I'm that kind of interests me a little bit. That's what Jonathan Gannon talked a lot about. We'll see how it works.
Because what if you run into a scenario where you're just killing the opposition with a 3-4? They just cannot stop Hassan Reddick. They cannot stop you guys on the edge for a game. I think that institutes for you to keep that 3-4 in until they found out how to stop it. Yeah. I think you teach with the talents you have on this roster, you teach them both ways.
Right, and that's matchups, and you could play. One team may have more problems with a 3-4 than a 4-3, depending on personnel. Also, so being able to go back and forth is, I like the idea of it. It interests me.
You know what? I expect to see both because Jonathan Gannon told us out his own mouth that he is a situational coach. I expect to see both. So so situations call for different type of defenses. I better see both.
Yeah,
to me the key is pressure. It's pressure. Because in today's NFL, the way that they give the offenses advantage, if you can't get to the quarterback, I don't care what you're running, you're going to get killed. So you have to bring pressure. And if you can't do it with your front, you got to bring the blitz. And I think that defenses that are most successful in this league are teams that blitz. I don't think defenses win championships anymore. I think offenses and opportunistic defenses is what wins the championship. Yeah,
that's what our defense was in 17 too. Again, we did at the right time, and I agree there. You got to be that. You got to take the ball away, and everything goes to the offensive favors. But the best way to throw a quarterback off is the pass rush. Pass rush is your corner's best friends. It's the start, just like the offensive line starts the offense, the D line starts the defense. But shout out to S Blaze with the $2 super chat. He said, "What's up, guys? We got I like to choke Prescott in the building. The Cowboys will start off hot like normal and choke at the end of the season." Blaze said, "Blessings in disguise having the really trade fall through. Looking back at it, AJ Brown and Smitty going to be crazy." They just think about it because what was it? It was reported a 3rd round pick, right, for Ridley. Yeah, you always had to worry about this coming back into fruition. Now he's a good player, and we would have been able to use his 1st round pick on something else. But listen, blessing in disguise for sure. Just being able to AJ Brown and you know what's crazy? I see Tennessee Titan fans on Twitter, they're so mad there. Like they try to act like they're not mad, but they're mad, and they're saying stuff like, "How come AJ?" They say, "How come AJ Brown didn't get this much attention with us?" They so mad. They say national media. They didn't really just call out Philly fans. They're like, national media is all everybody's crowning AJ Brown. Where was the respect when he was in Tennessee? I'm like, oh yeah, Tennessee does have a football team, right? Like, stop
right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're so mad. Skeletor 70 said, how long until you three, along with Fresh and Gate, meet up at a local place for a meet and greet stream? I need to get you all a plate of wings. Okay,
we need to go
one of these days.
We need to go to the West Coast.
Yeah,
Philly
he's
500.
One of these days. Well, yeah, I'll come back out. I got too much family. I got to come out and visit everybody. It's been a long time, so one of these days, definitely.
Yeah, we all got to eventually do one thing where we just get as many people to just then we really rock out at the link.
So I like how a couple of the Cowboys streamers did their draft. They were all like in one place. I think they were like at a bar or something. We should try to do something like that for the Eagles.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
So King said, how we grading Jalen by stats or wins?
Wins. I don't care if he threw for 20 passing yards and he was 5 for 5, 5 yards a pass. I don't care. If we get
for the most part, wins. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I'm not going to kill him if they're losing games 41-38 and he's lighting it up. I'm not going to blame him for it either, though. You know what I'm saying? He's got to pass the eye test.
Yeah, It all plays, right? Like, because then you can talk about Jimmy G-ish. You could talk about, there's a lot of things, right? Like golf golf was winning games. Football is wild because it's also a system, right? Like we like to judge players just solely off that. Like, let's be honest. Like Cooper Kupp was always a dog, but until they got Matthew Stafford, like Cooper Kupp triple crown, most receiving, most touchdowns, most yards, touchdowns, and receptions. We knew he was a dog, but we didn't think he was this. But you see, systems and players along with you can really elevate your stuff and gaming like that.
But at the same time, that same system took golf to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
This roster is so good that Jimmy G could take this team to the conference. Jimmy G could take this team to the conference, the championship game. So could Jared Goff. So I fully expect Jalen Hurts to have a good season. You know what I mean? Because y'all laughed at me when I said
season
Jimmy
number
G.
2.
Y'all laughed at me when I said, well, what about Jimmy G? If Jimmy G had this roster, I'm telling you, you win like 12, 11 games.
Yeah, but I was never giving up capital for Jimmy G. I would have
gave. If I knew you was gonna do something like this, I would have tried to throw a third out there to see what you get back. No,
that would have been. So whoa! You just say you're gonna give up Nakobe Dean? You just give up Nakobe Dean?
We had 2/3.
You didn't think about it like that, though.
We had 2/3. We had 2/3.
Yeah, but then you don't have AJ Brown.
AJ Brown,
right?
Yeah. I'd rather stay where I'm at for sure. Though.
Yeah,
I say let Jimmy G stay where he's at. Keep him the hell away from me.
See, look, but LB, it's easy to say a third round pick when it's not tied to a guy's name, right? You think third round pick, he can hit it or he can miss it. Yeah. But shout out to G. He said, why Dallas fans in the chat talking trash? Weren't they crying on national TV last year when they lost to Jimmy G and the Niners?
14, all I can say is 14 seconds.
Facts. Ace Wonder with the $20. Yeah, 14. That was great. The way the refs did them dirty too, like that was just all
Think
time
about this.
great.
The last 2 losses came to Jimmy G, who do he even have a team, and Jared Goff. The Cowboys are soft, bro. They're softer than the Blouse and Bloomingdales.
Listen, if Dak Prescott was in Philly after being the quarterback for 7 years and what did he win? 1 playoff game? I mean, we'd be killing him. We'd be killing him.
That's why we not Dallas, man. They praising, he swept the division. So we out here trying to win playoff games. Facts.
Ace said, I hope this continues weekly. You guys have something here. Can we talk about play calling and our coach? It ain't on just Hurts. Sidebar, Howie smelling himself blowing up the front office. Yeah. So we lost another. We lost who did we lose next? Who's the last guy that just came off?
Casey Weddle.
Damn, Howie really firing people, huh?
Is he firing them or other organizations taking them?
He fired Casey Weddle, which is Andy Weddle's brother. He fired him. We don't know why he fired him, but he fired him.
I don't care what Howie Roseman do. He could fire Jeffrey Lurie for all I care with a draft this good.
I don't know. He interviewed a couple people today.
how do you get fired after a draft this good? Like, because you would think that because Howie does be congratulating his people, right? So how do you get a draft like this and somebody loses their job?
I don't know. Maybe they were trying to get him to make bad picks. I don't know, but they're gone.
So maybe it wasn't Howie the whole time. No, let me stop.
Well, the thing is, too, is Andy Weddle may be going to Pittsburgh, right? So they fired his brother. Did they fire his brother because he was doing something, trying to get a job or something like that? You know, who knows? There's something we definitely don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but I couldn't have the brother of a guy working for. I can't have a brother from another. Yeah, that's just they had Thanksgiving talking about our Eagle secrets. You can't be giving that stuff out. We got us to go. Your mic just dropped. Luke said, "Hey Philly, you should interview for the scouting job."
Yeah, okay. I like this job, but I'll do it.
Hey, KRY said, "Why are we sleeping on Quez?" I think we're not.
No, nobody's sleeping.
647 yards in in the third spot. You can't ask for more than that. You can't ask for more
I think every one of these guys on here have been huge Quez Watkins guys. We all have been huge Quez Watkins. You know, to me, the whole issue with Quez is, are you going to give him the snaps? If you give him the snaps, he's going to produce.
Yeah. I mean, it was a filling out process for the coaching staff, I think, last year. You know, Rager was there before the coaches, so they gave him the opportunity to see what he was made of. And to Rager, and in Rager's defense, Rager was out here looking like Randy Moss in spring camp.
Rager Ben Simmons shit.
Right.
I'm not doing it again. I fell for that hook, line, sinker. I fell for it hook. Like, he did that one hand. I went, this guy's ready to break out. Rager's going to break. I ain't doing it with him.
Yeah.
No.
There's just some people that just it's over. Like the hype. There's no way to get back on the wagon.
I guarantee y'all, we camp start. Oh, Rager with the crazy toe tap. The crazy. It's gonna be something crazy. Watch.
Ready to do a video. Rager. Oh, what the hell? I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Not now. Listen, you know why we had to do it? Because that's how desperate we were for a receiver. We're not desperate no more. We live in the good life on the side. We got to get used to it.
See, believe it or not, we criticize the guys, but we want them to do well. You don't want him to be a bust. Nobody wants him to be a bust. I don't want Derek Barnett to go off sides 8 times a game. I don't. But, you know.
JC Sports
Talk. I was so mad at Howie Roseman for not drafting Justin Jefferson. I looked at the video the other day. I was like, how do I forgive a guy that I was this mad at? How did I forgive him? I was livid.
I'm having a hard time here.
I was livid, but I forgave him.
Yeah, I mean, again, football is a what have you done for me lately, and so that's I'm keeping that mindset. We live in the moment type mindset. JC said, would y'all sit Dean, have him get surgery for his pec, or take a chance letting him play and tearing it like Brandon Brooks?
He's not injured. It's not a chance.
What's going on with it? That's what I'm saying. Like, he says it's a strain and he's fine. He's going to practice it. I have no idea what the hell.
Yo, look, so we got King.
He keeps him. He was on my. Lord Brunson's Burns.
This is the first time I've ever seen it in my life.
He got you iced out, bro. You got he got my man
got
the gold chain.
I like the chain.
Let me see. I like that.
That's awesome. You gotta
King
love
Lord Brunson's Burn. He said, "I'm here and ready to for whatever." Bergang up. He said, "Who starts at D tackle? Fletch, Davis, Fletch and Davis."
I think Fletch is still going to start.
Fletch and Hargrave, and you rotate. I mean, the Eagles are going to rotate these guys in. Yeah. He'll get plenty of snaps, but
I can play outside too.
Yeah,
Hargrave can play a little outside too. So I think, people are thinking like we drafted a first round guy who's going to come in for half the snaps. I think you're going to be able to play these guys both. Majority of snaps just rotating. Again, Brandon Graham's coming off an injury. We want him to play, but his snaps got to be a little limited, right? We're trying to keep him
especially early. Yeah,
especially early. So I think you're going to see a abundance of when you could keep a D line like this. Fourth quarter, the offensive lines don't rotate. They're tired and we're hungry. You already know the saying.
Newton Williams could play inside and outside too. We keep forgetting about him.
Yeah,
facts.
Yeah.
Joshua said, "You think Miles will get extended after this year?" We talked about that a little bit, but what do y'all think? Like gut feeling, is Miles Sanders, yes or no? And is he an Eagle past this season? Yes or no? Gut feeling.
Miles, yeah.
No,
I think
I'm gonna
he
say
is.
no. I think he's gonna have a big year, but I think they're gonna let him walk.
I'm gonna have to say gut feeling. You know, my statement is always if you can match the money, but like that's players don't want to hear that. So I'm gonna low key say no. I love Miles Sanders, I really do.
Me too.
And I think he has breakout ability.
Yes.
And just like you said it in the beginning of the stream, like I really think he's gonna break out. But it's tough. Gut feeling says no. It's not me wanting him going, but I'm gonna
The
go.
thing
gut
is
feeling.
I could see him having a big year, and I think he will. But you know how it is with running backs. You really want to pay running backs that big money. That is what I'm worried. I think he has a huge year, and he's going to want big money, and they're going to stay away.
Yeah, I think if they were keeping him, you try to pay him off these last 2 years and say, listen, we like you. We'll give you a team-friendly deal. Listen, you didn't score a touch. You know, you have chips to say, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm always pro player, you know, in general. But I'm also, you know, players come and go.
Right.
I still got to rock this bird. So
I
think
they should have extended him after this year for sure.
Try to extend him if they extend him now. Extend him before training camp. If they could do that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, if he's the 15th highest paid running back, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, he got a lot to prove still, man. So
I
you be hard on him, LB. You be hard on him for not scoring a touchdown. See, that's the crazy thing, right?
I think
low key LB is a hard. Just listen in and out of our videos all together. LB is the hardest on Miles, and he got the only gut that says he's back though.
I think he's going to come back. I'm just going off of the the patterns of the team and Howie Roseman. Listen, if you're going to keep what's the dude that did the backpack dance? You keep him for 5 years.
Right.
You're going to keep Arthega-Whiteside. Should you even give him a new position to keep him? You better keep Miles Sanders for an extra year.
Right.
Yeah. Selena drops a $10 super chat. Do you think the game between Philly and the Jags this season is going to be a close game or a blowout? Are we going to be able to blow Doug out?
Yeah.
Pause.
Big pause.
Big pause.
Right.
Lord.
Doug out. Lord.
Yeah.
I think Jacksonville's going to be better than people think, but I still think we win that game.
I believe so much in this pass rush, man. I think it's going to affect anybody under 4 years in the league. If we play you and you don't got 4 years in the league and got that type of experience, I think we're going to be able to get after you. So I think we're going to be able to get after Trevor Lawrence and blow them out probably.
Dougie P going to want to come back. He's going to be looking across thinking like, dang, man, I remember how this thing ended. Yeah,
He don't got the ammunition to get back.
He got Christian Kirk for $19 million. It's like, nah, I think we win. I don't know how much of a blowout, but I can see us handling them by 10.
Yeah.
Nice 10 piece.
10 plus.
A Daniel Jones burner account in the building. He said, no, you're not sweeping us. Hurts can't. The craziest thing is when your quarterback is like, I'm not going to throw. Like, I hate Daniel Jones fans who really can talk about Jalen Hurts, right? Because your team is really giving up on him, bro.
Hurts
your
did
team
that
is
to
giving
himself
up
with
on
that
you.
bad game.
I don't understand how they think Daniel Jones is better. That's just the craziest thing.
Because they can never just grasp the concept that Jalen Hurts is fairly good enough to be better than Daniel Jones. They just can't grasp it.
Right.
It's not a hard hill to climb. A lot of people better than Daniel Jones.
Fact.
Yeah, everybody.
Shout out to Trevor. So mental cash dropping this. I don't know how legit it is. I haven't been on Twitter. My phone's actually dead. I just looked at it and my phone's dead. We've been on it for an hour, 47 minutes. I'm not going to hold these guys too much longer. So we're going to be getting up out of here. Per Justin Mello, I don't even know who that is. We make a hard play for Bradberry. Anybody know about a Justin Mello?
I think we make a play for Bradberry. I definitely think they're going to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the rumor right now. I'm going to just sit back and watch the Howie Roseman show.
That's a good ass show right now. That junk is entertaining.
Man, I'm on the 5th season. You got to catch up.
Don't tell me what happened. Don't tell me what happened.
I ain't gonna tell you what happened.
Yeah. What's it called? 500 got everybody saying Howie Vision. But you can still use the Howie Vision as, I mean.
It could be used good or bad. It could be bad or good. It just depends. It's just meaning that he's controlling everything that's going on in that organization. We can do nothing about it.
Yeah. Trevor said, who we starting at safety if we don't get a free agent? Let me ask you guys, week 1, you got the Eagles picking Kevon Wallace or Epps. To say we don't get one, who we starting week 1?
Epps. I hope so. I hope it's Epps.
I think Epps starts at safety week 1.
Epps is, in my opinion, he's past Kayvon Wallace on the depth chart.
How did we get Epps? I forgot. Did we draft him? How did we
I think
acquire him? He's been around for a little bit, right?
I think he was a free agent pickup.
Yeah, I got to look that up. I don't know, actually.
That's to say,
He was a free agent pickup. I think he was a late season. Wasn't he a late season free agent pickup? They signed and then signed to the roster. I think, but I can't remember. I could be totally wrong.
If he was bigger, like the size of Rasul Douglas, he'd be a monster, man. Because he'd be hitting, man. He'd be hitting.
Yeah. And shout out to Rasul Douglas for leading the league and doing what he's doing over there.
Facts.
And Mario Goodrich reminds me of Rasul Douglas. I said that in my video. I was a couple beers deep. You know what I mean? But
that kid's making a team. I mean, they paid him a lot of money. They paid him a lot of money.
Yeah, I got so many people. So many people killed me because when we paid him, he was the highest paid undrafted rookie free agent. I made the video, and then right as my video ended, like 45 minutes later,
somebody else got more.
No, we got Carson Strong, and we paid him more, and everybody corrected me.
But the thing is he's getting more than some of the draft picks.
Yeah,
it's they really like him. So it's going to be interesting to see how much they give him a chance early on.
And see, LB went to go first. So when we drew straws for these young corners, he got Mario Goodrich. Shout out to Bergang 31. He's an Eagle content creator in his own right. Go check him out. He said, "Love the show, guys. True goats. We all need to collab. We gonna find some time. We're gonna have a long summer of just more of this, more of we'll start.
You've never waited for preseason so bad. I can't wait.
Dan Cilio got a burner too. How many burner accounts is it?
I know, right? Wait, but Vaughn from a Commander fan, he said, "Real talk, y'all killed the draft. Shout out to you." Dan Cilio's burner said, "Gentlemen, LB, I'm from the money block." He's from the money block.
I appreciate you.
Lord.
Bro,
Zero said, "Fly Eagles fly."
Everybody that's in the chat, I want to thank y'all for streaming that song. I think it's like at 10,000 streams now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yo,
good.
I told you I gotta ask somebody. It's still on my thing on my iPhone. It's crazy. Howie Vision in the chat said we're all just living in it.
We're all just living. That's it.
Oh, okay.
King Solomon said, because we have Gainwell, Sanders is gone. That's on that topic.
Pretty true. Shout out to my guy Silas right there, man. That's my guy right there.
A lot of people were picking Epps, so a lot of people chiming in on that Epps Wallace talk, and they all picked. A lot of people picked Epps, and we're down. So we're at the even point. We still got 1,081 in the chat. Again, we are live on 2 channels. One day we gonna have to just do it live on that and more channels. The more the merrier. But
can you highlight that Gate City comment for me real quick?
At what time?
9:54.
Gate City. Dang, 9:54 is farther back than I thought.
Oh damn. I'm too far back. Well, I hear you, Gates. That's the guy I was talking about. Okay. Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about, Caleb. He's going to be on the channel probably tomorrow. We're going to talk about Cam Jurgens. So it's going to be a good video.
There you go. Cam Jurgens breakdown. Shout out to Gate City Sports Talk. Definitely a guy who can break it down for you real quick. And he was the guy. We live together. He's like this. We came to the second round. He's like, well, cornerback depth is not that good. And he's breaking it down, going through the charts. I'm like, Gate, I know you got all. I just want Nakobe Dean, though. Can I just get Nakobe Dean? and Gate knew Nakobe Dean should have been a pick, but he's trying to give X-Spacers everybody, and I'm loving it. But I'm like, can we get Nakobe Dean? And by no means I thought he would be there at 83. But once again, this is almost 2 hours. It's about 10 o'clock on the East Coast.
There's a fake EDP in the chat.
This is crazy in the chat. It's crazy in the chat. And again, we still got over 1,000 people. We're live on the Philly Talk podcast and Lord Brunson. Listen, I know everybody knows everybody, but if you are coming in here and you don't know one of the guys, there's the names. Mine's PTP, but you can type Philly Mike and I'll pop up. Just check the guys out. We cover Eagles all week, all the time. Different scenarios, different visions, right? We don't. None of us see Howie vision, but we all got our own vision. of how the Eagles should get back to getting what on LB's tape. You know what I mean? I had to get one. It's not the same as LB's, but you know what I mean? I had to get one too.
I like that. Where'd you get that from?
My wife got it for me for
That's nice, bro. What does it say on there?
I only got Jabordi's.
It's in a green. It's in green screen. That's why it's showing my green screen. But it says Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, U.S. Bank Stadium, February. And it shows them in Minneapolis Stadium and all that. And then it says Super Bowl champs at the bottom.
You want one of these 500?
I'm good. I mean, I'll take one, of course. But
he said I'm good. I'll take one. I'm gonna get you one.
I only got those wood carvings Mark Holmes be doing.
There you go. With that being said, you guys got anything to close it out?
Yeah, soon there's gonna be 2 of these up here. You know, that's what we're closing out with that. So
yeah, you gotta move it over a little bit so you can fit the next one on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put it right here.
See, and that's the thing. My wife.
I want to talk about one thing.
Go ahead.
We got black helmets coming this year.
Oh, that's fire.
I am so excited for this, man. I cannot wait.
I just ordered my Kelly Green helmet. I'm waiting for that to come.
I can't wait to see it. I've been complaining about, like, I've been doing it twice a year. I do Kelly Green jerseys. Got to go Kelly Green. Finally.
Yeah, nobody talks about the Kelly Green more than 500. No. But like I low key always love, like, you know, we always do it against the Giants, right? We play the Giants, we go all black, everything, right? And I love my midnight green, I love the white, but there's something about the all black. And if we ever can rock the black helmets with it, that's just gonna be cool. That's gonna be tough.
This year, I can't wait. I'm gonna have to buy a black helmet and put it somewhere because that's just gonna be sweet.
Yeah, see, I got the green screen, so it's like my wife keeps buying me a bunch of memorabilia, and I have it in my all through the house and stuff. I got the Devontae Smith rookie picture, you know. But I'm like, I can't hang it up unless I just give this up, and then I got to rearrange my whole thing. But it's crazy. But yeah, that helps.
Did you ever try to do a blue screen?
Nah, I've never tried the blue one.
If you do blue, then the green doesn't. You know, you can then have green all around.
Yeah, and I always got I got to wear black eagle hacks, right? I can't wear the green because it's like invisible head and whatnot. Shout out to Asia for letting me know that the Phillies bullpen stinks. We know that, but appreciate you for all what you do, Asia. Stay strong. And RL said, "What's up, guys? It felt like we still had 3 first-round picks this year. Davis, Brown, Dean, now 2 first next, and a second after that. Howie Vision at his finest. Yeah, think about it. AJ Brown is, it's just
first-round talent,
studs across the board."
And he's the same age as some of these rookies.
Exactly.
That's what's crazy.
Who was the oldest receiver
on our roster right now?
No. There was one receiver that was like, that was type old, like already like close to. I forgot. I heard something. I don't want to say a name and be wrong, but 24. Just put it as LB said. Our rookie turning sophomore is 23.
Right. So Smitty 23.
And it's just. This is going to be a long all season. We're going to have a lot of content for you guys. So subscribe, like, do all the good stuff. Yeah, man, we'll see what we could do. We got some Cowboy people that are talking trash. And I know the Cowboy content creators roll deep too. So, if we ever need to do, we could do a 2-on-2, a 3-on-3. We got to go at it with them this off season.
I can't wait to smoke one of them.
You won't hear from them after week 5. They'll get very quiet.
With that being said, shout out to everybody. Until next time, y'all know what time it is.
Peace.